What's up guys, Eyasu here and welcome to my first skill vlog slash skill Q&A. I'm not quite sure what to call it yet, but basically it's just something I'm trying out where I answer some questions you guys have had about particular skills that may not have been answered in the tutorial for that skill. This will probably focus on the more difficult skills because more difficult skills have more steps, and when I make my tutorials I tend to focus on what I think are the most important points, and I do leave a few things out just for the sake of the tutorial not dragging on too long, but that's where these skill vlogs come in. I can focus on those other points and go into more depth as well as answering those questions you guys ask about the tutorials. Okay, so today's skill vlog will focus on the Neymar training skill, which I did make a tutorial for a couple of weeks ago. You guys did enjoy it, but you did have a couple of good questions which I want to go further in depth with in this video. Straight off the bat, before you try the Neymar training skill, I highly recommend that you learn how to do the toe bounce. I have a tutorial for that which I'll link in the description below, but if you can at least get a good understanding of it or even master it, then it'll just make things so much more easier for you when you do try the Neymar skill. Because the toe bounce is literally half the trick, so in my opinion it's not the hardest part, but it's the most important. The 360 spin is the hardest part obviously, but the toe bounce is what sets you up for the whole trick. So if your toe bounce game is weak, then you're going to run into a lot of problems. The first question you guys had was in relation to the flicker before the toe bounce and the height. You guys were asking, how do I get that much height out of the ball? The height of the ball depends very much on your foot placement. The further over the ball your foot is when you're pulling it in, the more momentum it'll have and the higher the ball will go. For example, if you look at this side-by-side comparison, you can see in the right clip that my foot is further over the ball, which results in more height, whereas on the left I don't get as much height. By the way, just note that the technique on the left is only wrong for this particular trick because it provides less height. It's otherwise a perfectly good way to flick the ball up. The second popular question you guys had was, why can't I point my toe up when performing the toe bounce? And that's a very good question. The answer is, when your foot is flat on the ground, you have more of a surface area for the ball to bounce off, so that makes it a lot easier. And I know some of you will think, yeah, but then it makes the ball go shooting forward and I don't want that. And you're right, it will make the ball shoot forward because when your foot is flat on the ground, you have that natural angle because that's just the way your foot is shaped. And when the ball comes down on it, it's naturally going to want to go forward a certain degree. This is where having your body over the ball comes into play. This means getting very close to the ball and literally having your chest over the top of it as it's coming down on your foot. Having your body over the ball not only decreases how far forward it'll bounce, but it also controls it and helps you keep juggling after performing the bounce. Another reason it's important to have your foot flat during the toe bounce is because you don't necessarily want the ball coming straight back up. You want it to move forward a bit as it bounces off your foot, and I'll show you what I mean. If you look at this clip, you'll notice the ball moves forward as it bounces off my foot. It only moves forward a small amount, but if it had just gone straight up, it would have hit me in the butt and would have been too far under me for my heel to connect properly. And that's the difference that forward bounce makes. I understand it can be harder, but when controlled and practiced, the forward bounce actually helps. Okay, so to recap, learn the toe bounce first. The link is in the description. It'll make things a whole lot easier for you when you move on to the Neymar skill. Number 2, if you're having trouble with the height of your flick, try repositioning your feet to the way I mentioned earlier in this video. And number 3, having your foot flat is not only the correct way to do it, but it actually helps you pull the trick off. I hope this video has helped you understand the trick a bit more and given you a bit more of an insight. If it has, please give it a big thumbs up so I know, and I'll keep making skill vlogs. Until then, get outside and start practicing, and I'll catch you guys in my next video. Peace.